Welcome to SBW Talks. On today's episode, we have Tillana Chakraborti, a dynamic marketing executive with a passion for driving growth and innovation across industries. With over 15 years of experience leading high impact product marketing initiatives, she's a master at transforming ideas into powerful strategies that capture attention, drive sales, and build a long lasting brand recognition. Beyond her impressive career, Tillana is also the founder of the South Asian Women's Network, SAWN, in Minnesota, a thriving community that brings together ambitious, multi generational professional women to collaborate and grow. Known for her collaborative spirit and relentless drive, Tillana is always thinking about the next big idea, particularly as it relates to taking our organization to the next level. When she's not leading successful marketing initiatives or programs or connecting people, Tillana enjoys traveling, listening of historical podcasts, and watching and reading about murder mysteries. Welcome, Tillana. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Neela. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited for this conversation with SBW Talks, and congratulations to you. This is a fantastic initiative. I think it's speaking of new ideas. This hasn't been done before, as far as I'm aware, in the Twin Cities. So, congratulations, and I am super excited for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm excited to have you here. So, Tillana, this organization of South Asian professional women is not something that never existed here in the Twin Cities, something that you conceptualized and founded. You were the first one to start this. Going down memory lane, are there other first things in your life that you are proud of?
Oh, thank you, Neela, for the question. I appreciate it. So yes, confirming, I do not believe that any other organization within the Twin Cities exists that's kind of on these lines of putting together an organization of South Asian professional women. But yes, going to your question about down memory lane, yes, there are a few times in my life I would say I have been the first one in my family and even extended within the friends and family circle. One of the first memories I have of this is, I started working at, I believe it was at 17. So again, taking a step back, I am, from a regular old middle class family in Calcutta. When I first put this idea forward, so nobody, right? Nobody, forget women or girls, no one even, my male cousins. I mean, I don't have any siblings. I have a younger sister. But nobody in the family has ever, started working so young. It's that, the concept wasn't even there. But I just had this desire and this drive that I wanted to be, independent. I wanted to be financially independent. I just wanted to do my own thing and, get to the point where I am to a certain extent, control of as much as I'm able to. So without, telling my parents, I went and interviewed for this. I mean, I'm 17. I don't have a degree or anything. So I went in and wanted to do this sales job. So I went in for the interview, got the job, and came back and then brought it back to my parents. Yes, that was an interesting discussion. And I think the most common thing I heard back was, well, why do you need to work? Like, you don't really, because, are you in need of something? Are you like, what is it that you're not getting? And my point to them was like, it wasn't about getting from you. Like, I wanted to establish myself. I wanted to establish, whether you call it, I mean, I didn't call it my identity at that point because I wasn't even aware of, the concept of self-identity at that point. I just wanted to be independent. I just wanted to be out there and wanted to do my own thing. So that was my first one. And then also coming to the US, again, nobody in my family had ever done this before. I didn't have any friends, any family in the US. In fact, I didn't even have anybody from outside India. But I really wanted to do this. I wanted to pursue my own, I'm going to use the word destiny, but
Right.
I think it sounds a little more lofty than I intended it to be. I just wanted to chart my own path. So yes, so I applied, got through, then went back and told my parents again. I mean, you do see a pattern here, right? Ask for forgiveness. So essentially, I went back to my parents, and I think my mother was supportive as long as my dad was. And I want to pause here for a quick second, Neela. I wanted to talk about my father.
Sure.
he's passed away, but he is even, it's been more than 10 years, but he's always been a big influence in my life. Almost subconsciously, he was the one who always encouraged his daughters to be independent, make something of themselves, to just go with the flow with the surroundings. Yes, so he was very supportive. He went against his family because, as I said, like I come from a pretty conservative middle class family. So the extended family, they were quite unhappy with my father's decision to let this young woman, unmarried woman, more importantly, take off on her own. And yeah, so my dad's approach, and to this day, Neela, I will not forget it. To this day, I remember that literally his words were, well, if my daughter is unmarried for the rest of her life, I really don't care as long as she's made something of her life and as long as she's independent and followed her path and her heart. So yeah, so 20 years later, here I am, and I'm appreciative of that support I received very early on.
No, he made such a big impact on you, and he was progressive in his thoughts as well. Two
He
things.
truly was. And he truly was. I mean, he was very different from the rest of his family and my mother as well, to be honest. But it really, without his support, even my mom, I think, wouldn't have felt that, gotten that strength of mind to say, yeah, that it's okay. So, yeah. So
And he foresaw the future for you, that being a financially independent woman and doing things on your own, that you don't need to rely on a man, that you should
that
be independent, Tilana.
that was something that he always, he's like, yes, marriage is fine. I mean, of course, we all want our children to be happy, find their companions, etc., etc. But you need to do something of yourself with your life, and you need to be, I guess, independence. Yeah, you're right. I think that's the big one he really wanted to instill in us. And ambition.
Right.
And the funny thing is, it's all subconscious, right? Like at that time, I was, yeah, sure. I think that means more studying and more. And I was never into that much into academia. There, I just said it. But, I think subconsciously it was always seeping in. And so, here I am.
No, and I think he saw that in you, that you can do it, you can succeed, and he just put it in there, in a little seed in your brain. Just go do it, Tilana.
I think that has a lot to do with it, 100%.
So was there a moment when you could have chosen a different path?
So that's a funny one. Yes, who knows, Neela? I could have gone with the flow for the rest, like the rest of, most of my other family, my cousins, etc., would have went. So I could have gone with a similar flow of, meeting my proposed match, settling in Calcutta or anywhere else in India, and just been there. Yes, there were opportunities, certainly, which of course most of them uh, were, I just couldn't. I'm like, I cannot settle for, and it's not even a settle. I don't want to make it sound like it's a settling down because I'm super happily married now with a wonderful man. But it's more a matter of, it's really a matter of just wanting to do my own thing. But yeah, yes, there were plenty of opportunities where I could have just chosen what is perceived, I guess, to be, you know, go with the flow,
And
perhaps
why
a little bit
settle?
easier, and settle down. And but why
Yeah,
exactly?
why
Like
settle?
I just could not. I just couldn't do it. Like I can't explain it. I just had this desire to do something more and see the world, for lack of better words, see the world, learn something from a different culture, just do something more than what I was, until that point raised with. So yeah, I 100% always had, there was always a parallel path that could have happened. But yeah, it,
Yeah,
it didn't, I didn't pick that up.
no, but you forged into being an independent, financially independent woman, that I can do it. Like, again, as I go back to me, myself, and I
Yeah,
don't need anyone else to push me. You're
yeah.
your own push.
e- Exactly. And yes, I mean, does it help to have a word of encouragement here and there from your support system, from your friends, from your community, from your life partner? But the fire is within you. I mean, it is within you. It is what like pushes you through. And I talked about my father, but maybe a quick pause to even talk about on my mother's side. On my mother's side, I come from a relatively long line of very strong women. So not just my mother, my aunts, like, they're all like, I've always had these women in my life who were, and again, within their sphere, right? Like it's, I'm not talking about women who are, my mom is, was and is a housewife, but I know that she has this, and I've seen it, amazing strength within her. Like, and this thing about, that's it. Like, I got to do this and I got to do, I mean, she raised the two daughters practically on her own because, my dad was in Marine. So he used to travel all the time. So yeah, so I have seen that. That's been a big influence. I know I've talked about my father's influence, but subconsciously, even seeing these really strong women around me, that has helped as well. So all in all, parallel path aside, super happy I went with this path, and here I am. Then, here we are,
No, you're doing
meeting
amazing.
amazing women like yourself in the community. So all in all, it's just been a great journey.
So, give me like some two or three traits that define you. And did you always have these, or did they just develop over time?
Well, some I've always had. And some, yes, some did develop over time with maturity and experience, etc., and what I saw around me. So I've always had, and I think we already talked about this intense drive and sense of independence. It's been there from a very, very early age. You joke about me myself. Maybe it does come from that place of me myself a little bit. Like, what have I done in, like, I know, there's my father who's very successful and my mom who's like this amazing housewife, but that's them, right? Like, what have I done in my life? I remember like going, all my school friends used to be like, because, I've always talked about wanting to do something on my own and this, that, or the other. And my friends were like, well, but you don't really need to. Like, your dad is so successful. I mean, his finances are like, and that's the culture, right? I remember always pushing back saying, that's my dad's. Like, what have I done? Like, that's all my dad's. And I'm super grateful to have this lifestyle, and the support from him. But that's like, I got to do something on my own. So
Right.
anyway, so that independence and drive, I think, has always been there from a very, very early age. But as I said, like with age, experience, surroundings, I developed this desire over time to kind of leave something behind me that's more than me, more than more than my career, my family, my life, more than that, something that really, when I'm not around, and I don't want to call, maybe you can call it legacy, but that's not how I was thinking about it. But it was more about, I want to leave something behind.
Right.
That's more for a community. So yes, I wanted to build this inclusive community of, to me, what spoke to me was the South Asian women, the professional South Asian women. That's what spoke to me, right? But I really wanted to, the bigger picture is build a community that I can leave behind as something that has some footprint once I'm gone.
Well,
So
so
yeah,
what is your vision of SAWN, South Asian Women's Network?
yeah, it really came from a place, from the desire, again, like I said, of leaving something more, a community behind. So, Neela, like when I when I think of myself, right, when I first came here to this country, like, 20 years back, more than 20 years back, I didn't have anybody to turn to,
Mm,
professionally speaking, right? Yes, I made friends. All, we celebrated each other. We celebrated cultures together. We celebrated festivals together. But as far as career and
like a mentor.
professional, nothing, like, forget a mentor. I didn't have a mentor. I did, like, I'm not even thinking about a mentor. I didn't have anybody to talk to. Like, it
Okay.
was completely on my own. My parents, beyond the fact that they were not here, it wasn't their culture. My dad was in Marine. So, he's never seen the corporate world. My mom was a housewife. Nobody in my family had ever worked in a corporate environment. So I literally had no one to even talk to. I could navigate the culture successfully, the corporate culture, particularly American corporate culture successfully. I don't believe I didn't know how to navigate it, know how to have the right conversations, who to have the right conversations with. So I really I truly believe if I would have had a mentor or even, someone to talk to, I truly believe my career trajectory perhaps might be a little bit different. So from that experience came this desire to build a community where young women these days, by young I mean early career, young professionals, new graduates, new immigrants, so that they don't have to go through the same journey. They would have someone to turn to. And Neela, like literally one day I just paused and I looked around me. We have a community of absolutely super successful women like yourselves who are doing such amazing things in their professional world. But we never talk about that. We
There's
we
no
usually
outlet. There's
there's
no
no
outlet.
outlet.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we never talk about that. And we always talk about, our environment is usually like, you know, based on culture, based on friendships, based on, those kind of conversations. Anyway, so, one day both of those things came together and I was like, that's it. I've got to do something. And once a seed of an idea got
Right.
implanted, I just couldn't get rid of it. So I pondered, spoke to a bunch of good friends who were very successful in their own rights in their career, and I was like, listen, I've been thinking about this. Is this doable? Is this, can we make this happen?
And you did. And you did.
We're still growing, but yes, we've
At
come
least
a
just
long way. We've come a long way.
yes. And if you were again, I tell women, don't be scared. Just do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And if you were
yeah.
scared and if you had that fear, then there would be no SAWN today, Tilana. So you have to give yourself credit for that, for starting it and then building
You're
this network
kind.
and this community. Because a lot of women would be afraid of starting something. Oh, what will they think? Will I get the network? Will I get the women to support me?
Yeah.
Again, that came from where your parents have taught you. They again gave that seed for you to have that confidence to go be the first one to accomplish something and not be scared of it.
Neela, you're very kind. And yes, I perhaps was the one who came up with the idea, but I couldn't do this without an amazing team of some wonderful women who came together with me, who dared to dream with me. And, it takes a village. Yes, I have the idea. Yes, I'm the founder, but nothing happens without the broader team and the supportive network behind you.
And how
That,
many
and I include you in that, by the way.
how many years has SAWN been in Minnesota now?
So 5 years, but we got our 501c3, like the nonprofit status last year, which was a big step because that really helped us open some doors, gave us some legitimacy that we are just, we're not just an organization that comes together. But this is serious. Like we want to elevate, the brand of South Asian professional women, and really put them at least on the map of Twin Cities and beyond. I would say beyond, if that's kind of where my dream lies. But yeah, so far to answer your question, about 5 years in existence, but about last year, beginning of last year, so about a year of nonprofit status.
And would you think about opening chapters in different states or cities?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. We did chat with a couple of women in Chicago way back, but of course, I recognize it takes work. I will not take away that it takes work. Women have a lot of things going on. But anyway, the short answer to your question is I mean, that's my dream. Like take it, chapters, if at least in the Midwest chapters, if not national, but and if we can get national, great. But at least in the Midwest, if we are able to, establish some chapters,
Yeah, people who are listening to this podcast, if you are interested in this chapter, we will be giving out Tilana's information. Reach out to
yes,
her.
yes, I would love to. I mean, come talk to me. I would love to talk to anybody, whether you want to open a chapter, whether you have a concept, have an idea. I'm always open to, I mean, you heard, if you don't think of new ideas, new way of reinventing yourselves, your organization, I don't want to stagnate and I don't want this organization to stagnate. So please, always open to a conversation.
And I think SAWN is great because, again, as you said, when you first came to this country, you had no one to talk about your career grid.
No, no, nothing at all. So, and now we have not only a group of, we have early career, we have mid career, and we have executives. We have executives within our network who are supportive of the organization, of the mission of the organization, which is not only about supporting the younger professionals or supporting each other and a networking organization, but we also have this mission of wanting to serve the underserved population. And by that, I mean, women who are perhaps coming from socioeconomically underserved population, whether it is through, you know, they're coming back after a domestic abuse situation, or they are, they're refugees, first, coming here with the refugee, and now they need to build something. And with these women, we almost take it a step back, and it's not about skill. It's a little bit less about leadership development and career development, but the conversation is a little bit more about job readiness. So we help them build out their resumes, help them with their communication style, help them prep for interviews. And when I say prep for interviews, I literally mean that when you talk to somebody, you got to maintain eye contact. So things like that. So again, the mission is threefold: mentorship with younger women, serving the underserved, and have that peer network where we are South Asian women, professional women, are able to build and lift each other up and elevate that brand, as I said.
And you told me last time that financial independence was a big topic.
Yes, yes. So, thank you for asking that question, Neela. So, I think so. We had a workshop recently about on, financial independence, and particularly with investments, like the investments of the 101 of investments, because I mean, there's a lot of conversation now amongst women about financial literacy, and I think we are getting there. But I wanted to take the conversation to the next level, like not only about the literacy, like yes, K, retirement fund, et cetera, but beyond that, how can we grow our wealth? How do we get that, understanding of, how does the stock market work? How does your investment portfolio work? So I really wanted to take the conversation again to the next level. So I was super lucky. There are women, South Asian women in our community who are doing all these amazing things. So I was able to get in touch actually, they approached me. We both had I think we were all thinking the same thing. So we had a great conversation. And if your viewers are interested, please have them get in touch with me. I would be happy to share their information if they want to learn more. But because, that particular workshop was extremely successful, and I got contacted by a lot of women who missed that workshop, and they wanted to, they want to learn more about it, or even just, they were requesting if we are able to do a redo of that workshop. So yes, so we are planning on having a redo. Details aren't decided yet, but if your viewers are interested, have them get in touch. We'll have them added to our community to keep them informed of these upcoming workshops. And yeah, so exciting things coming up.
Do you know what your next topic will be at SAWN yet?
Yes. So we have our year-long build out. So the next one is a very interesting one. And I think, that's something certainly resonates with me and hopefully with some of your viewers as well. It's around quiet ambition. Like, how women, we kind of think of our ambitions in a very quiet manner. It doesn't have to be, look at me, like, it's always been subconsciously there, but I've never been out there talking about it, being aggressive. I'm sorry, being assertive about it, or being out there just talking loud about it. So, but there is always this quiet ambition that's brewing underneath. So we have a speaker who's going to talk about how do you manage that? What does that mean? What does it mean to have that quiet ambition? How do you think about your professional ambition? Like, how do you think about it, and how to manage through that conversation of quiet ambition? So that's the next one. Then the one after that in May is going to be around how do you work with the recruiters? So whether it's internal recruiters, like corporate internal recruiters, or external recruiters, I think there's a lot of myth out there, internal versus external, and how to manage those relationships. So we have both. We have someone who's currently an internal recruiter with one of the large Fortune 500 companies in the Twin Cities. And then we have an individual who runs her own firm of her own recruiting agency. So we'll have both of them come and hopefully debunk some of those relationships and conversations and communication. And then September, that's our largest event. We call it SAFL, meaning success. So, and that's our flagship event. And we will have a keynote speaker from our corporate environment and then hopefully a panel. So anyway, so we have a calendar built out. We are very excited and hopefully, there's interest out there, with your viewers.
Yeah, you've come a long way in the last 5 years from where you started to where you are now. It's such an amazing journey.
It has been an amazing journey. It has been a journey of, uh, like with any new thing, and the ideas there, you have a few successes, then you have a few setbacks, and then you have successes. So, I mean, it's a continuous process, continuous journey. You can't, if you have the dream and desire, do not let it go. So yes, so it's been a journey, it's been a process. Along the way, I have been lucky and fortunate to collaborate with some amazing women from around me. And again, I keep saying this, including yourself, Neela. I've been very lucky. Some of your past speakers, I've had the fortune of collaborating with them as well. So it's always been an amazing. I have learned a lot through this. I guess that's what I want to say. And I've grown a lot. I've had the support of some amazing women. I've had some great support at home. So nothing happens in vacuum. But the biggest thing is, don't give up. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't give up.
it's, if you have the dream, if you have the desire, I always would encourage everybody to just continue to build on.
So, what would you leave behind with our listeners today?
That's what I would like to leave behind. That's what I would really like to talk to your audience, that, you don't have to be an overachiever, a high performer, or like a superwoman. I really think of it as like ordinary women doing extraordinary things. And this is something that, honestly, like when you and I were talking about, and I was talking through this, like we were talking about this as being the thing. Like I really truly believe that if you have, the drive, the desire, um, and just the will, and yes, it does require that. I don't want to sugarcoat that. It doesn't require work, and it doesn't require that mental, space of wanting to do this. But it is doable. It is possible. It's plausible. Do not let that go. Um, I was, I mean, I come from as I said, from an ordinary background, an ordinary child who, wasn't very, you know, academically focused, but I
You
just
did
had
it.
all these, look, I just had all these dreams and desires that I just didn't want to, I couldn't let go. And I
Right.
just kept going at it. Resilience. That's the other thing I really want to say, particularly to the younger population out there, have that resilience. It will happen. It might not happen today, might not happen tomorrow, but do not let it go. It will
Right.
happen. If you dream, it will come true. And I forget, like my community, like of course, SAWN, me, we're all here to support any sort of dream and desire anyway, but you just have to have it yourself, and it absolutely will happen.
No, thank you, Tilana. This was amazing. Your journey, how you got here to the United States, and then how you started this networking and your career growth. I think you're going to make a big impact. You've already have, and I think you will, and keep going it with what you're doing.
Thank you, Neela. I mean, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for SBW. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
You have, scaled new heights again. Just when I thought it wasn't going to be, we reached the ultimate, success. But I really appreciate the support, and SAWN appreciates the support. So, and
And
thank you for this opportunity.
Tilana, we will put the website, but what is the
Yeah.
website for SON?
SAWNMN.org. And yes, we will, I'm happy to share my contacts and stuff. So, but yes, SAWNMN.
Okay, ladies, we will put all the information, Tilana's info, SON's info, so please get in touch with her. And again, I thank you to all our viewers, listeners for coming on to SBW Talks. Please remember to follow, share, and subscribe today. Thank you again. Thank you, Tilana, for coming on and making
Thank
it
you,
great.
Neela.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.